Okay, well, the first thing that I did was turn on this light. Then I went down to where the box was at for this light and turned off the correct breaker, but in this case it was fuses. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to replace this switch right here. So take these screws loose right here. There's usually one at the top and one at the bottom. And take them all the way loose, because we're going to take this switch all the way out. These are fine threads, so you gotta keep on screwing them out until they come out all the way. Now, a lot of modern switches, they have a cardboard thing to keep the screws in. I'm going to come in closer so you can see that. On the back of these screws are little cardboard things. You want to keep those on there. They're right here. It's very difficult to see where it's at, but it's on the back of these screws right here. Of course, we looked at the electricity. We made sure it was off. Now we're going to take these screws loose on the side. If you want to, you can invest in a meter to make sure the electricity is off. You can also invest in a small light for 120, and I believe that the light that I have will work on 220 also. But most switches like this is just for lights in the garage, and most of them are 120. And then you have a ground. It's usually a green wire or a green screw. In this case, there's barely any green left on it. So my guess is that this switch is no good. Of course, we'll find out as we progress here. Just showing you today how to replace a light switch. You might need needle nose pliers. I think I'll zoom back out here a little bit. You might need needle nose pliers. I carry them in my tool bag, tool pouch, whatever you want to call it. The tool belt. if you want to call it that. A little difficult to see everything because this switch is in a odd spot, and I got the car in here into the garage and all that. And the first priority, after you get the switch apart a little bit, is to take the wires off. And it's a little bit difficult. Another thing is that when you're replacing a switch like this, you want to wind the wires around in the right direction. One of these wires was wound in the right direction, the other one was wound in the wrong direction. But fortunately they did a nice job on the wiring, and it's not too bad. Whoa. Certainly a struggle to get this thing apart. Might have to switch back and forth between your needle noses and your screwdriver. Might want to straighten your wires out a little bit. Alright, I got a new switch here. And this happens to be a Hubble brand. Now, another issue here that might help you a little bit is on this particular one, there's a dark wire or a dark screw down here, and up here is a lighter one made of brass. What I do is put the black wire on the black screw, and then the lighter colored wire goes on the brass one. And then your ground wire, you got to put that somewhere. Now this one in particular, you want this screw to go on this way, if you can see that, and it goes around the terminal like that. And then the next wire, the black wire, goes on the same way in a similar manner. Okay, so I hope you can see that, how both these wires go. I'll zoom in a little bit. So you can see how these go. So these screws, they turn in clockwise, and you want your wire to go in the same direction clockwise. Then hook up your ground wire. I see I put this ground wire in the wrong location, so I moved it down here to the bottom. And this particular ground wire has a screw that is black. Alright, well, as you can see here, I've got a light in this little device here. This one says GE on it, 90 to 300 volts AC DC. I have had this for a long time. I think you can still get these things, but I'm putting one terminal, one of these wires, so see if I can show it here. I'm putting one of these wires on the middle and the other wire around this outside ring to see if this switch, or to see if this light socket is any good. Now, I've got power there, but it's not turning on the light. So I'll plug in this, see if this helps any. Yeah, see, oh, there it comes on. So, there's a loose connection somewhere. Probably if I put it back together again, it'll all work out. Well, I don't know what was wrong with it, but I took all the connections apart, and then I put them back together. The white wires were possibly a little bit loose. Also, there's a little copper thing back here right in the center that acts on the top of this bulb. And that I bent it so that it was back to the factory specs. And now it doesn't work. Well, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, it's still working. Also, I changed the bulb. So one of those things was wrong with it. It's very difficult to tell what is wrong with something like that. So now it's fixed.